I understand that people are trying to hold on to this dynasty. And in one hand, I get it, and I might do the same thing. But on the other hand, I understand what I'm seeing. And it's not just out of Golden State. It is the landscape of the league. I understand you still have a top, arguably 5 player in the league in Steph Curry, and he's still playing like that. Yeah, he's had a couple of shaky games, but that's not because he can't ball out. That's because he has to carry more of a load now. Not just because Draymond Green is suspended, but because the team around him is not playing up to their capabilities, or are they? And when I say are they, I look at 2 players that have been underachieving. Now, I know that this is kind of a tough thing to prove, seeing as though Klay Thompson did just have a 30-point game in his first 30-point game of the season against the Clippers. But the 2 players I'm looking at right now, and the 2 players that I'm looking at is the main reason why I think this dynasty is over, is Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins. We talk about the components of a dynasty all the time, so I'm not going to rehash that. But one component is you need a solid supporting cast. And I don't just mean, a middle of the pack supporting cast. You need a above and beyond supporting cast. And in 2022 or 2000? Yeah, 2022, when Golden State won the championship, their 3 best players in that championship run was Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, and Klay Thompson. Well, as we look today, Steph Curry is still playing at that level, but Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins, at least this point of the season, is not. To the point where Andrew Wiggins just got benched for, I think, Jonathan Kuminga. But when you look at those 2, it's very, I told you, and it's proof. When you have 2 major lower body injuries, it's going to affect something. And I understand that we looked at that high, and we looked at, Klay Thompson winning the championship and saying, oh, Klay Thompson hasn't missed a beat. Well, then you look at the season after, and you look at the season after. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that Klay Thompson is washed. I don't think that Klay Thompson is done. But I do think that this is the Klay Thompson that we're going to get. Because not only are those injuries catching up to him, but this entire Golden State run, him, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins to a certain extent now, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, they have played so many minutes in so many games. You realize for a lot of teams, the season ends. If you don't make the playoffs, obviously, the season ends when it ends. It ends at 82. Well, if you're making a playoff run, you still have to win. Not just play. You still have to win 16 more games. So imagine some of those series went 7 games. Some of those series went 4. Some of those series had overtimes and double overtimes. Imagine, let's see. I'm not about to do the math, but imagine having series after series after more games than other teams. It catches up to, especially when you have injuries or you've had a history of lower body injuries that has taken you out for years. So and I kind of was like this too. So I'm not bashing anyone. I'm not saying that, y'all, I'm right and y'all are wrong. I thought, okay, well, Klay Thompson, even though he came back, he won that he helped them win a championship. And I thought to myself, well, okay, if Klay Thompson looks like this, we shouldn't have to worry about, no injury bug. Well, I was wrong. And not the injury bug, like the the duration of the season and the duration of the games and the injuries and just the sheer amount of games that's on those legs and on the body, I didn't think it was going to come back and affect them. Well, it has. And that's something that us as fans and Klay Thompson, honestly, himself has to accept. And the Golden State Warriors have to accept. You can't use Klay Thompson the same way that you've used him for his entire career because he just can't be that anymore. Klay Thompson used to be one of the best two-way players in the world. He used to, being 6'7", he used to be able to guard people 1 through 4, sometimes the 5. Because he's a lanky 6'7", and he can still give you 50, 60-point games. That Klay Thompson is done for. And that's not a bad thing. That's just life. Now you have to accept what is. I think the biggest and the more alarming one is Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins was the clear-cut second best player in that NBA Finals run. He was, there was series where he had to guard Luka Doncic in the NBA Finals. He had to guard Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And he was the second best player. Well, again, and I'm not going to speak on what happened off the court because I don't know. But last year, he missed a good chunk of the season due to personal reasons. And it seems like he has not been right since. He's been such a shell of himself. And when I say of himself, he has been such a shell of that player that he was for that NBA Finals run. Because trust and believe, if Klay Thompson if Klay Thompson still is who he has been recently, but Andrew Wiggins was playing like that, playing like the Andrew Wiggins that we saw in the NBA Finals, Golden State would be in a much better place than it is right now. But Golden State is pretty much right now in such a weird spot because one thing that I do know and one thing that we can look and history tells it all. Dynasties do not end pretty. If you don't believe me, look at the Celtics dynasty. The Celtics dynasty, they were winning all these chips. And then there was such a long break. I know they won in like the 80s. And then the next championship they won was, I think, 2008 or 9. The Patriots dynasty. We look at what it's looked like since Tom Brady's there. And I'm not just saying the dynasty was on Tom Brady, but look what the Patriots have looked like. Bill Belichick's probably about to be out of there. And there's even smaller dynasties like the Yankees. That's a great one right there. The Yankees. So dynasties never really end pretty. But the Golden State Warriors is in such a weird place because Steph Curry is still playing like a top tier player. And you want to maximize these Steph Curry years because as good as Steph Curry is, he can win you a championship or at least get you as close as possible. Now, yes, he obviously needs help, but Steph Curry is still a once-in-a-generation type player when we talk about his shooting ability, his just everything he brings to the game. So you want to maximize that, but you also understand that the pieces that you have in place are not living up to what they need or are not performing the way they need to for a championship level, especially when you see the landscape of the league and how the room for error is much slower than it's ever been. Oh man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.